Alright, good morning. This is for Matthew Davis. It is way too early in the morning, but we're going to do this. What we're doing here is basically a Kung Fu 101. It's with Celine Didar Kung Fu. First thing we're going to learn this morning in this very short video is our training stance and our method of punching. So if you'll bear with me for a moment, I'm going to adjust the camera and so you can see exactly what we're doing with the training stance, and then we'll move on to our first striking technique. Alright, unlike some traditional karate classes where we have a wide open stance that is deep, yes, it builds some leg strength, but effectively down the line it's not great for your actual training, because we want to move from a training stance to a fighting stance, and as simple as that. What you're going to do with your training stance is you're going to step out with your right foot. You're only going to keep your feet shoulders width apart. Bend your knees so that you can just barely see the tip of your toes, and then roll your hips forward like you're sitting on a bench. So look at this from the side view. Feet are shoulders width apart, knees slightly bent so that you can barely see the tip of your toes, and then sit down rolling your hips forward like you're sitting on a stool. You can actually stay in this stance for a very long time. In some ways to practice it, you can practice it while watching TV, reading, anything of that nature. And of course, for our first starting on our training, you bring your hands palm up in a fist, elbows at the side. Everything we do with our striking, the elbows stay tucked in to the side. When your elbows go out in any way, with a moving forward technique, you'll generate your energy in the wrong directions and not where you want it to go. We stated before, shoulders width apart, knees slightly bent, rolling the hips forward. You're going to feel your center of gravity go straight down, which is where you want it. Generally, your center is 2 finger widths from your belly button. That's where your center should be. If you feel that energy down, then you have stability. A lot of people won't just teach in some classes you have stability only in your stance. As we move forward, you're going to learn not only to have stability in your stance, but in your motion. So that when you're moving forward, striking, if you get hit, you can't be knocked off balance. Or, even if they're an extremely strong opponent, can at least regain your balance quickly. Alright, in making our hand for our punch, don't make a really super strong tight fist. The reason being is you can break your fingers and knuckles in throwing a punch, regardless of how tough you think your hands are. Okay? What you want is to be able to curl your fingers to where you have a peephole through your hand, and then tuck that thumb. We are striking with the first 2 knuckles, just like any other style. You'll easily break the last 2. You'll be striking with the first 2 knuckles, and keep that peephole. If you've ever seen bag gloves for boxing, they have a bar in the palm that keep you from completely closing your hand. That's the reason why. It's training you to keep that in there so you have a cushion to keep from breaking your fingers. It allows you, when you hit, it's a shock absorber. Now if you give me one moment, I am going to adjust the camera once more so we can come in close. There we go. Now we can study this up a little closer. I just hate the whole cut and edit thing. Like we said, peephole through the fist, tucking the thumb. Okay? We get into our stance, feet shoulders width apart, knees slightly bent, roll the hips forward, center of gravity is straight down. Bring the hands up to the rib cage, palms out, and punch. Now you're going to notice a bend in my arm. Okay? If you look at it from a different angle, the arm goes down and out. It doesn't have to be this exact bend, but never fully extend your punch on your arm. Reason being, as you grow older, as I am, you will hyperextend your joints doing that. Also, it keeps from, if you were to throw a punch at an opponent and they were to slip your punch, if they were to block or trap your arm, you couldn't get your elbow damaged or your arm broken. But if you keep that slight bend in the elbow, when you throw your punch, rotating the fist over, it will cushion your elbow joints. It does not in any way minimize the strength of your punch. When you're punching, you punch through your target. You focus all the way through. It just means you have to be about that much closer to your opponent when you hit them, which isn't a problem. All hand techniques are in fighting and in close anyway. So we're here, we punch straight out, rotating over, striking with the first two knuckles, focus there, slight bend in the elbow, okay? Nothing straight out, so that we don't hyperextend our elbows as we go. Alright, when we go to throw our second punch, it comes out as the arm comes back. If you'll notice, halfway, palms are facing one another. If you do this in the mirror, if you can get it to where it's a smooth transition, striking with the first two knuckles, rotating as you go, as they come to the middle, you'll see those palms are facing one another, then you're doing it right. Throw a couple of punches together. These punches can be thrown high, punches can be thrown low, but always keep that bend in the elbow. Alright? Peephole through the fist, tuck the thumb. Very important. Learning these techniques not only keeps these little precautions not only keeps your technique strong, but it keeps your technique strong into your older years. When you get in the habit of thinking, I'm a young guy and I won't get hurt, well, the slightest things can happen. You get in the habit now of building your good habits in with your training, and they'll stick, and it'll be second nature. Alright? We've got a few minutes here. Let's go over one more technique. This is going to be our back fist. With our back fist, we'll train the same way we did before. Feet shoulders width apart, knees slightly bent, rolling the hips forward. Some styles throw their back fist like this, which is fine. Okay? But you're still striking with the first two knuckles, but you're striking with a club. Alright? Clubs only hurt so much. If you've ever been hit with a stick or a baseball bat, what we want to do in this situation is turn our back fist into a bullwhip. So you can imagine in your mind, which would you rather get hit with? Baseball bat, bullwhip. I'd personally rather get hit with a baseball bat, but the bullwhip really hurts. Now, what we're doing with the back fist on this, and I want you to play with it because we'll go over it again later on, is all you're basically doing when you start, open hand, close hand, open hand, close hand. And if you notice my wrist bends a little bit whenever I do this, just practice open hand, close hand, open, close. Still with the first two knuckles you're focusing, because what you're doing, I'll do this with my left arm on this, is as you bring the hand out, close it, it makes the curve. Whenever you're facing off on an opponent, instead of throwing a stick that can be blocked, when you throw the whip that turns, it goes around their block. you can still hit your opponent, especially with the majority of back fists are aimed at the face. After you build up your strength, hopefully you can hear that popping sound. You can use a back fist on any number of targets on the body besides the head. The ribs, head, collarbone. But it's a whip. Notice my elbow stays inside. Arm moves it out like a punch or a jab. Open, close. Open, close. I'll turn slightly so you can see a little better. Open, close. So practice that slowly. When you do it fast, it will come. But remember, elbows in. Elbows as you go will always protect your rib cage. Alright, so let's review. We have our stance. Shoulders width apart. Sorry, I adjusted the camera. Shoulders width apart. Knees slightly bent. Hips rolled forward. Arms tucked to the side. We have our punch. Straight out. First two knuckles. Elbows slightly bent. As they rotate, they pass each other in the middle. Smoothly. And then with our back fist, we'll go down a little closer. To the side. Here. Hand comes out. Open. Closes on contact. The whip. Then you can play with a combination. Back fist, punch. Back fist, punch. Back fist, punch. Back fist, punch. And switch hands. Back fist, punch. 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 Okay? So practice with those for a little bit. In the next video, we'll move on to some defensive techniques. And remember, everything we do in this can be both offensive and defensive. Alright. And one final thing in party, should have covered first, is our salute. Always stand, feet together, right fist, left over. Stands for the sun, moon. As you bend forward slightly, rotate your hands in towards you in a small circle. Here, eyes always forward on your opponent. Never take your eyes off your opponent. As you come back up, it goes out and back to the center. And that's our salute.